Something happened to us yesterday. Well, not happened to us. It didn't happen. It happened to someone we've been working with, and I'm pretty pissed. Notwithstanding that it could have been prevented with a bit of comms, but the only person that loses out in this situation is the business owner, and so I want to get into that. And so you can see by the title of this video today is "How to Lose Half Your Traffic in a Week." Lessons. So what is the title? Yeah. So how to lose half your SEO traffic in a week. Lessons for all business owners. I think in the 2021 going into 2022, this stuff shouldn't happen. And I know it's Christmas Eve. We're here till midday. I thought a couple of guys could that are taking a bit of time off could enjoy this video. So what the hell am I talking about, Jimmy? So basically, we do a lot of content for clients. So we write blog articles, essentially for clients. They may not build a website with us or do anything like that with us, but the idea is that there's so much traffic on the internet, and a lot of that traffic is a non-commercial intent. So basically, they're not ready to get in touch with it. They're not ready to buy from us just yet, but they're ready to They're making a decision. So a lot of non-commercial content is basically article posts, like how, what, when, why. And we ideated and wrote like almost 30 articles for this client, and it fundamentally changed her business. She was getting inquiries all the time from people, and she does like keto meal planning and keto meals. And we had articles that were heavy hitters in the space. They were beating out Healthline and stuff in regards to like, if you typed in keto takeaways or keto, what's the best like keto barbecue sauce, it dominated, and it's not an easy industry to have good results in. So we were chuffed. Anyway, fast forward 5 months, she just got a new website rebuilt, and my Dan, our editor here at My Online Guy, went to congratulate her and went, "Jimmy, what's going on? Like, where are all her rankings?" So I jumped on, had a look, and yeah, fair enough. Where we used to rank number one for keto takeaways, we're now on the 4th page. Where we used to rank number one for keywords like, I'm just going in there now to have a look. Where we used to rank number one for keywords like, the best keto electrolytes, because that's anyone that does ketos know that electrolytes are a really important part. Like keto sweeteners, where we used to rank number one, we dropped a lot, 3, 4, 5 spots. So I got a little bit concerned anyway. So anyone that has done SEO for an extended period of time will have seen this once before. My immediate thoughts were migration hasn't been done properly, and lo and behold, that's exactly what's happened here. So I'm just going to bring up the website and show people, give some people some context to what I'm talking about, because a lot of people won't know. But basically, what's happened is when you let me just bring the site up. That might be the easiest way to do this. So if I just go over here. Okay, so this is Jenny, beautiful individual, lovely human being, and very, very passionate about what she does, which is awesome. So basically, she got this new website rebuilt, and there's nothing wrong with the site. It's really nice, cosmetically very appealing, and but like I said, this keto takeaway, we used to rank number one for that, and used to drive a huge amount of traffic volume to her. Let me just drop this for a sec. If I just go like that, she used to drive a huge amount of traffic volume to a site, because people would search like keto takeaway options because they're looking for something to eat. Then we had basically funneled them to her, and then they would reach out about maybe her cooking, because the whole thing she does is she cooks meals for people. So anyway, so you can see here now Healthline is number one, Medical News Today, Have Butter Will Travel, Reddit. They're all number one. We've lost our spots. But you can see here, I'm using a tool like Ahrefs. You can see that if I go to keto takeaway, because it does take a little bit of time for this to update, you can see like this time a week ago, we were number one for keto takeaway ideas, keto friendly takeaway, low carb takeaways. We're all number one for everything. Now, if you search for Ketalicious, you can see it's gone to 23, and it's picking the wrong article. So what's caused this, guys? Why, so like where this rubber meets the road is Dan reached out to Jenny and spoke to her about it. And Jenny's like, yeah, I did notice that half our traffic went, but I just assumed it was Christmas. 100% caused by this. It would, when you're driving this much traffic with blog posts, You can see here, if you look, you can see here, we went from ranking like for when we started with it for like 20 keywords all the way up to 8,000 keywords with a huge amount of traffic value and volume. You can't just do that and not see ramifications of like dropping huge ranks. So anyway, for those who are uninitiated, what caused this? Well, basically, I said any SEO has experienced this at least once, if not several times. Basically, what happens is when you build a website, everything has an address, right? So you can see here up here, keydalicious/blog. So keydalicious/blog is up here in the corner. That's the address of the website. Now, what generally happens is if you build, a lot of times the web designer or web developer will change the URL structure because that's basically like the flag in the ground in regards to Google. Google actually ranks web addresses, not web pages and addresses, not necessarily. It doesn't know that 2 pages about keto takeaways are the same thing. It just assumes that if they have different addresses, they're different content. So you can see here that the article that ranked for keto takeaway, this is really important to notice. I don't know if I can zoom in here. There we go. So we really need to take notice of this because it's important that you understand what's going on here. So you can see here, keydalicious.com.au/blog/keto in Australia /best keto takeaway options, making the move. So maybe not the best URL structure, but that's what it was. That's what Google liked. That's what Google was ranking. As you can see, first positions, driving heaps of traffic. It's good. So happy days. So let's have a look at what's on the website at the moment. So this is our keto article. Just remember this, keto in Australia, best keto takeaway options. And what I'll do is I'll snip this and so we can bring it up next to each other. So we have that. So if I go like that, so I'll leave that in the corner so we can see, right? So let's have a look at the actual website. So we're on the blog post here. This is the keto takeaway article. Let's have a look at this and bring up that picture I had. Can you see the difference there? So this website's, oh, sorry, that was my bad. This website's URL structure, well, that's a photo one of the team did, sorry about that. You can see the website structure is keydalicious.com.au/post/best keto takeaway options in Australia. The old one was keydalicious/blog/keto in Australia. It may not look like much, but that is a huge difference. That is like a fundamental change. Now, what you normally do in this instance is you would do like what's called a 301 redirect. So basically any good web designer that has an SEO background will map the site. So you basically take the old URL, which is this one here, and the new URL, which is this one here, and you marry them up in a spreadsheet. So you know that this has to go to this one, this has to go to this one, because ultimately you want to optimize your URL structure if you can do it. And now if you were to do that, yeah, you may drop a couple of rankings or whatever, or lose a bit of traffic, but you won't see catastrophic drops because Google, basically a 301 redirect is basically telling Google that you liked this article. Now this article is here. It just redirects Google to where the new article is. And eventually what Google does is it goes, oh yeah, that's the same. We'll just put that one in the result because it's the same thing. So that hasn't happened in this case. And that's what's caused this big drop. And it's across the board. So this is obviously their biggest article and drives most of the traffic. But that is a huge, it's so easy, an easy oversight if you don't have the process in place to do it, but it can fundamentally cost you huge amounts of money if it's not done properly. And everyone sees horror stories, everyone talks about horror stories where, the web designer gets lazy and they just take all these blog posts and redirect them to the homepage or just delete them wholesale. Not cool. So I think that if basically I'm going to keep this one quick, but I'll go back to myself here. Let me just bring up all this stuff that I had on before and the chat. So yeah, the moral of the story, guys, and the reason I brought this up is because we're not sure yet, but she has probably done permanent damage to her blog posts. Now, she paid thousands and thousands of dollars for us to write that, and we got her results, as you can see. Ranking #1 for keto takeaways is a big deal, especially for what she does. But she could have effectively, I don't know, she's going to fix it now and getting the designer to fix it, but she could have effectively cost herself thousands of dollars, notwithstanding all the work that she's lost. You've got to do diligence on the people you're working with to stop this stuff from happening. You've got to ask these questions. You've got to, admittedly, it's hard to know what questions to ask a web designer, but that's why there's people out there that can give advice and help. I've got 40-minute videos out on my Facebook page talking about the things you should ask a web designer before you booking them. Any good web designer worth their salt that has a tiny bit of background in SEO knowledge will either contract people like myself or Optimize Online or Buddy Prosperity Media will contract SEOs in if they don't know how to do it, to make sure that no rankings are lost beforehand. And we've done that for several agencies where they've gone, oh, Jimmy, we're not sure about this migration. Can you help us migrate these sites? Because it's the single riskiest thing you can do when you build a website is make sure the structure and the SEO integrity is still there when you relaunch. Then a lot of web designers have a bit of SEO knowledge. They can probably do it themselves too. But in this case, it hasn't happened. And if we hadn't come in and we're going to congratulate her and pick it up, she may recover these ranks, is fundamentally what I'm saying. The longer you leave those URLs not redirecting to the right spot, the more chance Google just wholesale never puts it back in. It's a huge problem with this industry, is everyone is selling shit that they don't fundamentally understand the ramifications of what they're doing to someone's livelihood. That's where it makes me upset. Is you're a web designer, you have the person that built their website has a very, very nice site and talks the talk, but that's like a critical error. That's gonna cost Jenny at Keylicious, a human being with bills and people that she has to take care of. It's going to cost her thousands and thousands of dollars, most likely, if it hasn't cost her that much already. And you could I wish more web designers and I wish more people in the marketing space would appreciate the ramifications of their actions, because he's probably just going to cop it on the chin and move on. If we do that here, this is why we have so many checks and balances in place. I would be awake at night knowing that I caused something like that if it happened to me. If it was us and we had a bit of oversight and we cooked someone's rankings that was driving their business, I would be genuinely upset. I would be like, how do we stop this from ever happening again? Because I don't want to be responsible for someone losing their business because of my actions. G'day, Chris. Hope you're doing well, mate. Good watch this one if you get a chance. I don't want someone fundamentally losing their business because of my actions. It's a responsibility that everyone takes so lightly, when everyone needs to appreciate the position that we're in. We're fundamentally affecting someone's business positively or negatively. And a lot of marketers don't appreciate that. They put $1 in, they get $2 out. They don't appreciate that there's human beings trying to pay bills and trying to keep their lights on and keep their kids in school and live a nice life through a business. You cook someone's rankings, that could take years and years for them to get back into a place. And we had that earlier in the year. A company we work with that's now working with us, they're working with a company based down south somewhere that absolutely cooked their rankings. And he come to me one day and said, Jimmy, my business is going down the toilet. I don't know what to do. So we started a triage and just said, look, we can do our best to try and get this back on track. But, ultimately we're going to have to do this, this, and this, but we might have to phase it out over a long period. And, so we ran Google Ads, tried to get him a shot in the arm, and now he's recovered. But I don't know if the other agency gave a shit whether he was failing or not, because you can always hide under the guise that it's like, oh, it's not my responsibility. I did my best. You can always hide under the guise, but, not comparing us to any other industry, but people just assume because what we do is on the internet that it should be easy. The job should be easy, and it should be a job you sit on the beach and drink piss, work 4 hours a week and sit on the beach drinking piss. I don't know an agency that really takes what they do seriously that doesn't work a 40-hour week. it's, you know, yeah, it's a different lifestyle because we're not in the heat, we're not in the sun, you know, and we get to sit in an office all day. And you know, look, to be fair, there's perks to this job. I can sit in a nice office and do my job, but that doesn't take away from the fact that people need to understand that there's real humans involved in these businesses. And there may be big businesses where you don't necessarily see the faces of these people, but even if they're a big business, you know, if you migrate, you know, I was speaking to Norquay over at Prosperity Media one day, and he was telling me how he salvaged a campaign where it was a million company worth millions, and the guy that did the website basically cooked millions and millions of dollars of them, and then Norquay had to go in there and fix it up. It's like people just don't appreciate that their actions in this, for some reason in this industry, and it's not everyone, it's the vast majority of people that do this work, do good work, but there is a lot of cowboys, probably a disproportionately large amount of cowboys relative to the rest of the other industries, in my opinion. In my opinion, this industry needs to be regulated. But there's so many cowboys out there that are just burning people left, right, and center. They don't give a shit whether they get success. They'll just promise whatever you want to hear as a business owner, and then they try and work it out as they go. There's no processes in place. There's no structure. There's no anything. They just basically go, yep, yeah, we can get you 200 leads a month, and then they get 30. You've banked on getting 200 leads because they had confidence. They get you 30, and then they're like, oh, sorry, that's all we could get you. Now on to the next person. And then you're left with a business that has a big gaping hole in it because you've structured it around 200 leads a month. And it just makes me upset and really pisses me off about this industry, and it's why I hate it. And it's why we run the way we do. You know, we're not perfect. We make lots of mistakes here, but we do everything we can to fix them, even if it costs us a lot of money, which it has in the past. Because it's ultimately, at the end of the day, you know, a lot of the way that people are treated, businesses are treated by marketers, wouldn't fly in any other industry. And yeah, I just don't want to be a part of the problem. We're trying to be part of the solution here. But anyway, this turned into a bit of a rant, which I thought it would, because it's just something I'm super passionate about, is, you know, making sure that business owners don't get wrecked by a cowboy, basically. And this is another example of that. Everyone seems to think that they can do a 2-hour course on building a website on WordPress, and they think they can sell websites. It's just not how it works. Yeah, we all started doing those kind of websites, but ultimately there's a lot of experience. What if I was a business owner? I'd be looking for experience, because the experience is the things that stop you from seeing what happened to Ketalicious there. That's what stops that from happening, because you do it once, or you hear about it once, and you never do it again. So yeah, it just pisses me off that this industry is just full of people that do like a HubSpot course, think they know marketing, and then have the audacity to go and try to charge a business owner for something they have minimal experience in. Now, if you charge appropriately and fair and you're transparent about that, like I did when I first started, my first 3 clients, I told them, I was like, guys, I've never worked with clients before. Yeah, I've got experience. I've never worked with clients before. I have no processes for mailing out reports and stuff. But if you guys bear with me, you're going to get a significant discount because of that, because I'm honest about it. And I told him, like, you know, the guys after you are not going to get this discount, but I was very honest, very transparent about my ability, and the expectation was right. They knew that they were, instead of like going with a bigger agency where it was a bit more established, that the ROI is a bit more guaranteed, they were taking a punt, and in exchange for taking a punt, they got a discount. So I just wish that people that didn't have as much experience or practical experience in marketing would just be honest about it and price accordingly, so that the business owners can mitigate the risk by going, okay, well, I'm happy to use this guy. He's a good guy. He's going to do me a good job, but there is the risk that, you know, we get it late and stuff. I can mitigate that because we have this rule in this agency that applies full circle. It's not just me, the team to me, or me to the team. It's just everyone. We don't blindside each other here. So if there's a problem, I don't want to, ultimately where this came from is like, I hate getting blindsided where I get sandbagged by someone where they just set me up and I'm because I'll back my team 110%. So if one of them says they've done something and the client says they haven't, sorry, the team has said they've done it. I believe them. I trust everyone I work with. I trust, but I don't like getting sandbagged where I put my gut, I put myself on the line there just to find out it hasn't happened. I feel like when marketers sell something that they don't necessarily have a huge amount of experience in, and they sell it in a way that gives an impression that they do, they're basically blindsiding a company. Because if you're honest and transparent about this stuff and you don't have much experience and you're very honest about that, then a business can work around that and mitigate that. They can see the tidal wave in front of them and they can start building the boat, as opposed to being like 12 weeks in, you haven't finished their site, they've planned around it, they planned photo shoots or whatever, or launch, and you haven't finished it. You're basically blindsiding the company. You're sandbagging them, basically. And, it's not fair. No one likes that happening to them, and everyone seems to think it's okay in this industry. So, I'm going to finish up here. Obviously, this is not the Christmas Eve message that I would like to give, but a little bit later today, I'm going to do a bit of a video on a bit of a post-mortem for the year for the agency. I did it last year and it was really good, really therapeutic. So I'll go and do a bit of a post-mortem on the year so far, and then I'll we'll crack a beer and do that and answer any questions that you guys may have. But guys, if you take anything away from this video, do your freaking diligence on the people you're working with. Don't just work with them because they're a mate. It's way too easy in this industry to sell something that you have no experience in. Do a WordPress course and you think you're a WordPress expert. That's sort of the way the industry works. Really, really pin down why they're charging what they are. So, if you're talking to a business, talking to a web designer, pin down how they came up with their price, pin down what exactly you get for it, pin down who they worked with in the past, speak to those people, and ask them what their process actually is for it. And if they can't answer those questions, they're not going to do a good job. It's impossible to do a good job without that stuff. Unless they're very honest about their ability and go, yeah, I'm new to building websites. I know how to do them. I'm just new. I'm going to give you a discount in regards to that. And when we first started building websites here, we were charging $1,000 a site because I did not feel comfortable charging what we do now, which is like 8 to 10 grand. Did not feel comfortable charging that without the experience. And we're 80, almost 100 websites later, we're charging 10 grand because I'm very comfortable charging that because our processes are so good that we're going to get the result, whatever that may be. And I think that's the difference. So guys, enjoy your Christmas, stay safe. Don't do anything silly because you need to make it in the new year and kick your goals. Think about your family before you do anything rash, silly. Everyone acknowledges that it's a happy time of year and I'm lucky I've got family and stuff, but there's a lot of people out there that don't, and this is actually quite a depressing time of year for them. So, if anyone ever wants to have a chat to me, I've been there before. I've been in the situation where, times like this really upset you. So, if you feel like that, just ping me, have a chat to anyone, have a chat to someone. Go, my door's always open. If someone wants to spend Christmas with us that's maybe doesn't have their family because they're over east and they can't see them, come and have Christmas with us. We're going to go get some crabs out of Mandurah. But yeah, it's not, for some people it's the best time of year, for some people it's the absolute worst time of year. So just remember that, when you're posting your photos on Instagram and stuff about how good your life is, just remember there's people out there that aren't in the same situation and haven't seen their family in years because of COVID. So just remember that. It's it's just be conscious of that, I think. So guys, thanks once again. I'm going to jump on a little bit later today and do a second video, but stay safe, and I'll see you all on the 4th when we're back. Watch out, this agency is going to blow up.